Hi guys, it's Cody and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to start hopefully a new video series on this channel that I would like to call Cosplay First. So what is Cosplay First? Well, I was inspired by like other videos in general, like from other things being like, I try this for the first time, or I go here for the first time. I really wanted to do something like that, but just cosplay related. And I think the best way for me to go about that is to just simply show you guys me trying to use a different cosplay technique or a different cosplay product for the first time. Now we've seen like plenty of videos on YouTube and on the internet of people like kind of already knowing how to do things. They show you guys their methods, they show you guys all the techniques. This is not really gonna be that series. This is not gonna be a series of me being like, this is the result of me constantly experimenting and showing you guys exactly how to do things really well. No, this series is really gonna be more about I attempt to do something for the first time for a cosplay, and I bring you guys along for the ride to show you how it goes. Another reason why I want to show you guys this is because I don't know how many people realize just how much work goes into people putting in YouTube tutorials or, you know, writing up tutorials for cosplay. You know, behind like all the nice like pictures and videos and, you know, them rattling off like how to do things correctly, it was like a cosplayer struggling to figure out how to make all of that look nice. So that's what I hope to aim for this video, and hopefully maybe I can turn it into a series if you guys like it. Let me know in the comments if you find these really interesting. So for my first video and hopefully a series of Cosplay First, I am going to be using LED lights for the first time. Let's get started. Okay, so the project I am going to be doing this LEDs thing for is Star Guardian Lulu from League of Legends. Now for Lulu, I've already done most of her sewing stuff, but today I'm gonna obviously be focusing on the LED aspect of it. So initially, when I was planning on working on this costume, I was actually gonna go for just like the whole soldering thing, where I get the light, I do the soldering, I get the wires and the conductors and everything like that. I don't know how these things go. I was actually watching a lot of community cosplays in preparation to learn how to do this. But then my friend Kira, who's doing League of Legends with me, actually suggested I use fairy lights. So I bought packets of these. They came in like a packet of 4, so this is the second one of them, and then this is one uncoiled. So and I can see why she suggested it, because it's pretty easy setup. Like, it's all pre-wired and everything. It had a battery in it and everything, and then you can kind of coil it around as much as you like. So and you get a pretty nice glow out of it. So I actually went ahead and just coiled it really tightly enough so that it would fit under the stars. Now, for what I'm gonna light up, I decided to go, like I said, I could have gone the hard way and done, you know, complicated resin casting or molding or whatever, but then I decided to go ahead and use clear Christmas ornaments. So I got a package of 3 for these, and they come apart like this. This isn't 100% accurate to what is in for Lulu's design. Her stars are a little bit more angular, but again, I really wanted to make this beginner like easy on me, because this is my first time working with LEDs. I didn't really want to muck things up too much, so I decided to just go with a simple Christmas ornament, and it came to pretty close to the dimensions that I want for most of the pieces anyway. So to paint these, I went ahead and used gold nail polish. I just picked it up from, I believe, CVS. Yeah, I picked this up from CVS. When it came to try to coloring the star to the right color that I wanted, I actually did a few experimentations and then tested it with one of the lights. So first thing I tried was just lightly spray painting one of them gold, but then when I tried putting it on, it doesn't, as you can see, it doesn't really shine through all that much. It's pretty opaque. So that idea was automatically shut down. Then I tried sanding it to give it kind of a milky thing, and then adding on a bunch, and then adding nail polish both on the bottom and on the top. And again, it didn't really do much. It did kind of do better, but it was still, I didn't really like the effect too much. It still didn't show enough of the light, in my opinion. Then I tried not sanding it, but I think for this one, I may have put a little too much layers of nail polish because I can't really see the light that well. And then finally, I ended up, this one thankfully worked out, is probably the most satisfactory for me, was I just put a very light coat of the nail polish and I wanted, and boom. So this one I think showed the brightest. So the thing I've learned is that for when it comes to painting on the nail polish, it's best to just get very thin coats so it's colorful enough to where you could still see the color, like it's still gonna show up, but it's not gonna be like, you know, opaque to where you could barely see the light at all. So I think this one worked out the best. It looks, I can see the light the most, and when you turn it off, it still looks okay. So after that, I went ahead and made, this is the base for her chest bow, so I went ahead and made the base for that. So the next thing I'm gonna be working on actually is hooking up the chest bow to the star. Originally I was just gonna like maybe peek it out from the bottom, but then I realized I'm gonna be hot gluing over this, and I don't really know how well these wires are gonna interact with hot glue. Like I don't want to burn these things and like ruin the connection or whatever. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm gonna cut a slit in the middle of the star and then feed the battery packet and the wires through that before I hot glue this thing on. So I'm gonna try that and I'll see you back in a minute. Okay, so I went ahead and I finally finished gluing this star together. So you can see it worked, and I'm happy it worked. So switch, there, yeah. So it worked, thankfully. I am so happy. I did get some glue on it, but thankfully it didn't look like there was much effect on it. So yeah. So the next thing I'm gonna do is figure out how to mount the star onto my chest bow. I've already went ahead and sewn everything, including the necktie part. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to glue the center part first, and then I'm actually gonna take this advantage to kind of fluff up the bow a little bit more. Like I put some heavier interfacing in here, but it's like kind of flopping. So this thing still, I want it to be more like up at an angle like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm first gonna glue the center part down just to nail it in place, and then I'm going to glue the sides down and try to fluff up the bow to make it look more like that. So it'll give more of a fluffy appearance. Okay, so the glue is pretty much almost dry right now. So the last thing I'm gonna do is to figure out how to hide the battery pack. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is probably just taking the wire down here and looping it around and then probably hiding it behind one of the bad ones. I'm probably gonna think either one of the top or the bottom ones. I'm just worried about the battery packet weighing down the thing, but I don't know. I'll play around and figure out, because of course I don't want this to weigh down, but I might just stick it in either here or right here. But I'm just gonna stitch it in just to hide the packet. Alright guys, so I went ahead and finished this chest bow. As you can see, since that last clip, I went ahead and did add a few more stitches just because I noticed this was could kind of slide out at any given point, so I added a vertical stitch as well. So yeah, so let's give this a shot. Ta-da! And then finally, and then the switch is right here. And boom! Ta-da! Yay, this is looking really, really good. It is, I do notice that that this side is kind of like tilting, weighing down a little bit, it's kind of tilting like this, but overall, I am pretty happy with how this turned out. Like, this is pretty damn cool. And you know, in the worst case scenario, if I really am feeling kind of like meh about this tilting thing, I can always just like put an extra snap onto the top. But yeah. This is how the chest bow works. So the next part is going to be focusing on how to do the staff. That's the other star that I'm going to be lighting up. So yeah, keep on watching for that. Okay, so alright guys, so I do have to be kind of quiet because there are people sleeping in the house, but I'm going to kind of go into further detail about how I paint these star ornaments. So first things first, I don't know if you can see it, but there's this little tab here for where you normally do Christmas ornaments. So first things first I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just snip it off. Luckily this is a pretty thin plastic, so I can just use my scissors to get it off. Okay, then to kind of soften up the edges, I'm going to sandpaper it. Now another thing that I'm going to have to kind of note is that the LEDs, I'm going to have to kind of wire the LEDs a little different for the staff. So if you notice with these wires, like there's kind of no way to close it with the wire still peeking out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little slit at the bottom, a little hole at the bottom, just so we have, you know, just so that I can feed the wire through here. Oh yeah, here we go. I've never done this before, so we'll see if this is going to work. I know this would probably be a lot easier if I had a drill of some sort, but I am way too cheap for that. So we're trying to make do with what I got. Again, I've never done it. Not ideal. I'm gonna try my PVC cutters. Oh, that kind of worked. Cracked it though. Oh yeah, that kind of works. Yeah, that works fine. Yeah, too bad this is kind of made it cracked in the process, but that's okay. I guess we're just gonna have to make it work. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and sand this a bit, just so that, ow. Okay, so now that the main part of that is, the worst part is done, I'm now gonna go ahead and paint it. So like I said earlier, I tried to use very thin coats, just enough to get color in it, but not to the point where it, you know, looks bad. Okay, I'm gonna leave this to dry for now, just because I don't want to overload the layers. Okay, hi guys, so it's been a bit of a time skip between the last time I recorded something and today. So as you can see, here is from where we left off there. This is the star. I'm gonna be hot gluing this little frame around it, so it's just gonna go, it's just cut out and then it's gonna go right around here, and there's this little hole here obviously for the wires to poke out of. So I think it should be just enough to where it'll stick out without, you know, too much overlap. But yeah, so that's gonna happen here. Now, the thing I'm kind of running into, and this is kind of why it's been taking a little bit, is where to hide the battery pack. The battery pack has been kind of causing me some trouble because unlike the chest bow where I could just kind of flick it behind something and call it a day, this one not so much. There's only one bow right here, so I can only do so much, and because it's supposed to be viewed from multiple angles, I'm not really sure what to do about that. Right now, the only thing I could potentially think of would be to maybe flip this around, because I kind of have this bad habit where whenever I do bows, you have to leave like a little bit of an incision, like right here, to kind of turn it inside out. I usually have this bad habit of just not closing it up, but now this might be to my advantage. What I'm gonna maybe do is turn this one inside out to where the hole is at the top, and then there I can stick the battery pack in it. One other thing I also did to kind of maybe steady the base a little bit more was to also put in a little bit of craft foam, just so that there was more stability. Otherwise this was gonna be too floppy. So here's what I'm thinking of doing. So as you can see, this is the heart part I'm gonna put that around here, and they're gonna be right on top of these little side pieces that are gonna be attached to the bow. So it's kind of like this, roughly. And then I'm gonna put some extra craft foam over on the sides. And then the heart will go right here. So what I'm thinking of doing is once I glue this, I'm gonna take this and I'm going to, and then glue these on to the bow. And then I'm gonna take the wire and then run it around here and then stuff the battery right in here. And then it's gonna be kind of encased in between these two, and then I'll cover it up with the sides using leftover craft foam. So that's what I'm thinking of doing, because that's really kind of the only way I can think of hiding this wire while still being able to kind of sort of get to the battery packet. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. I may have to like stitch it down in place or something. I don't really know. Like I said, this is all new for me. I really don't know how this is gonna work out. But yeah, wish me luck, I guess. Okay, so that obviously kind of failed because it was a little hard to hide the wire as well as make sure that the battery pack didn't just completely fall into the bow. So what I'm gonna do instead, I think, kind of the only thing I can think of is just to basically tape the battery packet to like one side and then just leave a hole when I cover up the sides with the craft foam. I was trying to avoid permanently encasing it because, you know, like what if I have to change the batteries? But you know what, I think this should be able to last me for a while since this is only gonna, I'm not leaving these on for like long periods of time. It's just like a temporary thing that I throw on. And again, this is also my first time doing everything, so it's just kind of like a going with the flow kind of scenario. So that being said, I'm going to work on enclosing one of the edges first since I already have that going, and then I'm gonna draft up a new side pattern for the other side to include the battery packet, and I'm probably just gonna use some tape or hot glue to get everything down. Okay, so I finally got ahead and secured the star in place, and I don't know if you guys can see this too much. I don't know if the focus will allow me, but I did include some small pieces of Wonderflex at the base of the star just that it wasn't gonna be as wobbly. But yeah, here is how I put the star in, and here's the switch. Let's see if it works. Yay, it works! So yeah, not bad for a first try. Obviously there are plenty of things I can improve upon. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting the rest of the pieces together. Ooh, this star already looks so damn nice. Like, I'm already loving how this is looking. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna finish putting the rest of this together, and then I will show you the final result when I'm done. Bye-bye! Hey guys, I kind of have to keep it a little bit quiet because I do have people that are still sleeping, but I wanted to show you guys my final stuff. Yay! So, I'm pretty satisfied overall with how this turned out. Really, kind of the only thing I don't really like is the fact that this top part is a little bit wobbly. I think it was kind of a bad idea to have the bow kind of act as a base for everything going up on top. But overall, I really like it. It does separate. It just has PVC pipes that are attached to each other. So that's really cool. And here we go. So the switch is right over here. And ta-da! Yay! Magical girl powers. So yeah, I'm really excited to wear this out. I still have to finish the gloves for Lulu, but after that I am pretty much done with this whole outfit. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my cosplay first with LEDs. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you have any LED tips, tell me in the comments below because I really would like to improve more on it. Subscribe to my channel to see more cosplay stuff from me, or if you want to see my dancing, subscribe to my dance channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!